Hi, it's Dave again at Vinyl Nirvana, and we're going to do the second part of installing a Jelco 750D on a TD-160. This is a TD-160 Super reproduction, actually, that's in front of you. But we, in the first video, got the collar installed with the two machine screws on it, and now we're going to be installing it here onto the table. The extra tools you're going to need for this section are a larger Allen wrench, and I have a screwdriver that I like to use. You can probably use the same one that we had before, but it's one that I like to use to try to get the nuts not to turn. And then I've got some thread lock here. This is optional for you. I'm obviously shipping the turntables that I put together, and I find the thread lock helps to keep the nuts and washers in place, so I'm going to be using that along the way. That's optional for you. I'm actually going to apply this thread lock right now while I've got this armboard out in front of me. Just the tiniest of drop on each one of these is all it takes to allow them to not move. Okay, so the thread lock is on. The armboard faces this way as it goes into here. There's 3 holes here, and you're going to put the 2 machine screws in the back into the rear 2 holes that are back there. It's just a little trial and error here until you get those into the space that's needed. Okay, those are in. And the next thing I'm going to do is install the sheet metal screw in this front spot, so it's not going to be moving about and falling as it goes. One thing I forgot to mention is obviously the turntable is up on suspended on something right now. You can use coffee cans, quart paint cans. I've got these special stands that my plinth maker built for me. But basically I'm tightening that screw all the way in the front, and now I've got everything in place to be able to be tightened. So I'm going to flip this over. Actually, I need to get these screws started first. So those are already started, I forgot. Okay, so let me flip this so you can hopefully get a decent view of what I'm trying to do. When you flip this, be very careful not to put anything on the motor, put any undue pressure on the motor spindle, because that does bend easily. I'm going to adjust the camera. Okay, I think you can see what I've got in front of me here. So I'm grabbing the 2 small washers and lock nuts that were provided with the table, and I'm using my finger on the underside to push this machine screw up, and I'm dropping the lock washer on with the sharp side down, and while I'm pushing on that nut on the other side, I'm going to get this started as far as I possibly can. It won't be able to tighten it all the way, but you'll get it pretty far. Now I'm doing the same for this other one, just putting my finger, just touching it on the underside, sharp side down in the lock washer. Again, I've got some thread lock on this, and I'm getting that started. Okay, at this point you've got these other nuts that are holding the armboard loose, and I'm going to turn that back to the other side in order to tighten the machine screws first before doing those other ones last. Okay, I'm going to go back to my camera, make sure you can see what I'm working on. Actually going to give a slightly different angle here. So these are the 2 machine screws, what you can see from the top. And basically what I do is I use one screwdriver to look down into this space here. I'm kneeling now by the turntable, and I can see those 2 washers and nuts on the underside. And I'm using the screwdriver very carefully not to damage the top, to hold the nut so I can then, I got that on that. And while you've got this collar, you can turn this. If you've got somebody to help you, it's great. But basically you turn this a half a turn at a time. But if you have somebody here, you can have them lift that up and move that a bit. But right now I'm just trying to, I don't have the best light here. I normally have better light on my bench, but this is where I make the films. This is actually tight. I guess I did a good job with that one. So I'm going to go under here and find the nut on this one, put the screwdriver against it, and then turn this one. This one I can see a little bit better. And as you can see, I've got this one, it's turning much easier than the other one. I don't think I've got that nut in place. I'm going to turn on another light here so maybe I can see this better. There. Okay, I've got that tight on the back. It's not moving at all. And then the final thing is to tighten these three nuts also. And you can do that in some cases with this screwdriver also from the top. So I've got that against that screw. I'm using the Allen wrench to try to make sure that nut isn't turning. I don't think I'm doing a good job with this one. Oh, I did. Okay, good. That one's done. And now I'm going to try this one back here. I can see the nut turning. It's really tough here with the light I've got, I'm sorry. But, okay, I got that one. And this last one I'm going to do from the underside. I think we have good access to it. Again, when you're turning the table, make sure you're not coming down on the motor. And this is the last one right here, which is a good one to see on your own from the top. So I'm putting the Allen wrench in, and I'm just holding this one with my finger and tightening this last one. Okay, make sure I got a picture of this. Yep. Okay. Okay. Turning, turning, turning. The lock nut is just about engaged, and I dropped the Allen screw. Okay, giving that a good twist. These nuts are tight. Actually, I didn't get that one, did I? That one's tight. Okay, so this one in the left and the back needs a turn or two. So I'm holding that on the underside with my finger. Actually, I got good access to it, so I don't have to use the screwdriver I was using before. As soon as that lock nut engages, you're in good shape. Even with the other screws tightened, I can manage with this thin screwdriver to get that in. And we are set. So that's the installation with a present technique as of November 2016. Hopefully this was helpful for you.